Oh, this is going to be so cool. Look at this little thing. Little mini PC. I'm going to have so much fun building this. Oh, cheeky. What? You're so cute. G'day everyone, hope you're having a great day today. Time for another computer build. This one's going to be pretty fun because we're making a little Mini ITX computer. I love this sort of stuff because it just amazes me how much they can cram into such a small space and still be a full-blown computer. So yeah, we'll go through what we're putting together. And I've chosen these parts for the customer and they've said yep, go ahead. So we'll start with the case. The case is a Coolmaster NR200p, the version 2, and it's going to house everything we need. The motherboard I'm putting in, this motherboard's so cute, you're so tiny. But yeah, it's a MSI B760i Edge Wi-Fi, and it takes Intel 14th, 13th and 12th gen, so socket 1700. I didn't go for the Ultra because the i5 Ultras were just a lot more expensive and I was trying to keep it at a good price for the customer. So yep, so we're going that for the motherboard. I still love how small that is. Powering it all will be a little tiny power supply from Coolmaster as well. The V650 SFX Gold. It's fully modular and it's an SFX power supply, which means it's like really small. I'll show you that in a sec, how it actually looks out of the box, because yeah, it's pretty cool. And a couple of sticks are crucial. DDR5 4800 RAM. Still having trouble getting 16 gig kits in DDR5, and I think it's actually a big problem everywhere at the moment. So, but managed to get these, so 4800 megahertz. So that'll be plenty. It's just going to be a everyday computer. And a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD from Kingston. So that's already got her data on it. I already did transfer earlier, so that's ready to get plugged into the motherboard. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I forgot the CPU and an i5 13500. I went for a 13th gen because I had mine in stock, and she was happy to go with that. I know could have gone for a 14th gen, but yeah, she was happy to take it off my hands. So yeah, i5 13500 will be the CPU. I think that's everything. So we'll get a close look at what we're going to be building and putting together. Catch you in a sec. Alright, I got a little bit closer up for you. So I got the power supply out, and look at this, it's so cool. It's so small. There's my hand. So yeah, this is a 650 watt, fully modular. So we only need to plug in what we need, which is important when you're building a little computer because there's not going to be a lot of room in that case. We'll minimize the cables, which is great. And this power supply has a silent fan, so the fan doesn't spin up until it reaches a certain temperature, keeping the computer nice and quiet. So yeah, that's a little power supply. And then we have the motherboard, and it's tiny. There's my hand, look at that. So yeah, it's got dual DDR5 slots, a single PCI Express 16 slot. It's got all the usual connectors. It's got USB 3.1, and it's also got the Type-C connector, so pretty up to date. Got your 24 pin power and 8 pin power up here, and your NVMe goes underneath this processor in the middle, and on the back, as you can see, it's got a built-in I/O shield, which is nice. We got 4 USB 3s, display port, HDMI, Type C, USB 3 power, 2 USB 2s, and 2.5 gigahertz Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and I'm pretty sure it's Wi-Fi 6E, and your audio. So jam-packed all into this tiny little board. Oh yeah, I just discovered on the back of the motherboard we actually have another M.2 NVMe connection. So yeah, you can have dual M.2s on here. That's pretty amazing. So yeah, I'm really excited to build this. It's a lot of fun to build this sort of stuff. We'll have a closer look at the case shortly, but first we'll get the CPU installed on here, and the RAM and the SSD.
A few moments later.
Alright, let's start building this. Alright, so we got our motherboard ready to rock, and yeah, very nice and compact. CPU's in, RAM's in, SSD's in underneath, and the CPU fan's connected. This thing's got like 2 other fan connectors up the top here. It's also got the RGB headers there, and we got audio, and looks like 2 USB headers there. So this thing has stacks of connectivity, even though it's a tiny little thing. Super cool. Alright, so we'll prep the power supply next, because I think we only need the 8-pin power, 24-pin power, and that should be the only 2 cables we need to hook up, because it's not going to be a graphics card on this one. So yeah, we'll get that ready next. Alright, yeah, so we got the power supply ready. 24-pin, 8-pin, that should be the only cables we need. So now we'll move on to the case, and we'll have a closer look at this case. Alrighty, so this is the NR200P version 2 case from Cooler Master. I haven't actually read how to open it. Well, it's pretty easy. It seems to be, yeah, it's got the little plastic holders that go into these little clamps. So easy remove. Now this case does come pre-installed with the mesh, but you do have the option having a glass side as well. So if you prefer a glass side to see inside with your RGB or something like that, you can go with that one. And I guess you can just change it whenever you feel like it, really, because it's in the box. So if the customer feels like, hey, I want to have a clear side, they can choose that if they want. So that's pretty cool. So I'll just get both these sides off. Okay, so with both sides off, you can see it's got a 120mm intake fan for cooling everything. That bracket there is actually where you put your little power supply, which sits in here, and you plug in this power extension cable into the top of it, which then runs to the back here where you plug your power in. So that way we can get the power to the computer but not have the power supply sitting right at the back here where we need to put the little motherboard. So the little motherboard will go in here. It's got dust filters on the base and the top. There appears to be options for a small liquid cooler radiator. I'm probably guessing it'd have to be like a 240. You definitely can't get a 360 in this thing, not enough room. And this front panel is just popped off. It's made of really nice metal, so sturdy. And then you can see all your I/O connectors. So on the top here we've got your Type C, 2 USB 3s, your power button, and that'll be a combo jack for your headphone mic. So yeah, this case does take advantage of the Type C connector on the motherboard, which is great, so getting maximum connectivity. One thing I noticed too, instead of the separate little front panel connectors, they've made a block, so that makes it even easier, because we all know those front panel connectors are horrible and everyone hates them. So they've made it a little bit easier for us. And your HD audio connector, and USB 3. I'll show you the back of it here. So again, this is where the power supply will sit. So yeah, that's the power cord there that will plug into the power supply. I'm guessing it should go on the top, because if you go on the bottom it could get into the fan there. Alright, and if you're wondering how to get the fans on, you just pop this up. And that's like removable, and there's where you can put your radiator on there. So easy to pull apart, no screws or anything like that, it's all just clips. Very, very nice, clean, well built. Pretty impressed with it so far. Alright, I'll skip ahead and we'll get into putting the stuff inside. I struggled a bit with the cabling. I'm going to have to actually disconnect some of it and reroute it to get it to sit neatly, but it's all in, so I guess we will do a quick power on test to make sure all the hardware is working, and if it is, then I will switch it off and neaten up the cabling. Let's get it plugged in and we'll turn it on. Alright, we're ready to turn it on for the first time. Don't worry about all the cables being messy. It won't cause anything to explode or anything. And voila! See, I told you it wouldn't explode. And we are booting. So I'll flip you around, and as you can see, it's booting off the cloned image, and we are at the Windows lock screen. If you're a person that gets frustrated easily, just take a breather here and there and then come back to it. And otherwise you might lose your temper on this one, because it frazzled me slightly. So if it frazzles me, it's going to frazzle someone who's got less patience. But all in all, it's a very nice case, very well laid out, and it's actually not that hard to work on. It's just you got to be aware there's a bit of a space restriction because it's a mini PC. Alright, so now we've got the cables all tidy. Yeah, I just thought I'd show you the back of the mini PC, and there you can see the power supply on the left and the little Mini ITX motherboard on the right. Because your Mini ITX is cramming so much onto the motherboard, they actually put lots and lots of components on the back of the board as well. So you need to be really careful when handling the board that you don't knock a diode off or a resistor or something like that. Yeah, be extra careful with Mini ITX motherboards. So that brings us to the end of the build. I really like the NR200P case. It's really well designed. It's supporting up to 280mm radiators on the top. It can take 2.5-inch SATAs as well on top of your NVMEs. It's got the Type-C connector, which is great, and it also supports a full-size graphics card and even includes the riser cable for you. So you can have a full-fledged gaming PC in a compact size. And you can even replace the side with glass so you can see a nice RGB and all that if you want to. In this case, it's just been made as a home PC, so we don't need all that. But you can see here how it compares to a micro ATX case. So yeah, very compact and sleek and nice. So pretty good. I did run a PC Mark 8 score check on this computer, and it came up with a score of 4,444, which lands right in the place where it should, between 4,000 and 5,000. So yeah, it's all working perfectly. If I compare it to my own, my computer has an i7, it also has an NVIDIA graphics card, and I have 64 gigs of RAM, so it was never going to be able to compete. But it gives you an idea of what you get with an i5 general purpose home PC in terms of performance. Well, that's going to be it for this Mini ITX PC build. If you could drop me a like on the video, it would really help me out, and even better, I'd love to have your subscription. But until next time, bye for now.